Welcome to the Imagine Craft channel. This is Annie Collins. Today we're going to create a fun rainbow card. We're going to use a variety of Imagine Craft products. We'll be using Memento Tuxedo Black ink for our image, VersaFine Clair and Nocturne for our sentiment, Delicata Glitz Gold for an accent, and Memento Dewdrops we'll be using Angel Pink, New Sprout, Summer Sky, and Lulu Lavender. In VersaColor, we'll be using Canary, and in VersaMagic, we'll be using Mango. Tear tape to put our card together. Imagine on point glue to add our embellishments. A stencil, and a piece of cardstock that measures the same as our stencil, which is 3.5 by 4. An extra piece of cardstock, and our heavyweight cardstock card base. Now I have a alcohol marker friendly piece of cardstock, and we're going to use this image by CC Design called Lucky Rainbow, and Lucky Clover, and the sentiment is called Lucky Rainbow. Starting with the Memento Tuxedo Black, I'm going to ink up my image, which I have mounted already on an acrylic block. I'm pressing firmly, but not too hard, because I do not want to distort my image. Now, to save us some time, I went ahead and stamped and colored with alcohol markers my image and fussy cut it out. I also stamped my sentiment and cut it down to a small size, and I cut a small piece of holographic gold paper. I'm going to tape my stencil into place so we can start our rainbow background. So here I have all my inks in rainbow order, and I'm going to use some makeup sponges or makeup wedges to add my ink to our panel. I'm going to use a piece of Post-it to keep the other areas clean so I don't get any of that color into the next row. I start out with a darker on the bottom and just fade out to the top. Now I'm going to remove my Post-it and cover the area I just sponged the color on. Bring in another Post-it. Okay, maybe if I put the Post-it the correct way, it'll stick, to cover the other area. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing, but a little darker and fade it out. This is the VersaColor in Canary. It's a nice bright yellow. Now we're going to use our VersaMagic in Mango, and this is going to be our orange. And I just keep moving the Post-it over to cover the area I've colored and keep the other areas I haven't clean. And I repeat this process across the panel. These small inks are perfect for these little projects just like this. And they're easy to tote with you if you're going to a friend's house or a crop to do some card making with friends. So I just keep sponging it on, and I always start out light, and then I keep adding layers. I move on to, that was a New Sprout. Now I'm going to move on to, sorry, I moved everything there, to the Summer Sky, which is going to be the blue of our card, or of our rainbow. And now for our final color, which is going to be Lulu Lavender. Going to ink that up and start the same thing, just fade it out. Now I'm going to remove our stencil. Well, first I realized I missed a spot in the blue, so I'm going to fill that in. Now we'll remove our stencil. Gently peeling off the masking tape. And we'll set our stencil aside to clean it later. And there's our rainbow. It doesn't have to be perfect because it's handmade. Now, there's the extra piece of cardstock, which I cut down to 4 by 5 1/4. So it's a 1/4 inch smaller than our card base. I'm going to use the Delicata Gold, and this is my last finger dauber. I have to order some more. I'm going to start by inking the edge of the paper because I don't want any of the white showing. So I want to go right against the edge, and then I start swiping it across, making a frame with this Delicata Gold. I check with my rainbow card to make sure I covered enough of the white, and I have a nice thick frame all the way around that's even. It looks good, so I'm going to set my gold panel aside to dry real quick. While that's drying, I'm going to adhere the sentiment to that holographic gold paper using some tear tape. I'm leaving a nice little border all the way around my sentiment. Now it's time to put our card together. I'm going to place some tear tape on the back of the gold framed panel. And as you can see, my panel wasn't completely dry, but I'll wipe off any extra ink before I continue. I'm removing the back of the backing of the adhesive to place this onto my card. I'm going to have a top folding landscape card. Center it as best as possible. We should have a nice white border all the way around. Now we're going to adhere our rainbow panel to the card. Remove the backing to the adhesive and center it onto the gold frame panel. Now here's our little girl that I said I stamped and fussy cut and inked and colored earlier. I'm mounting her with foam tape, and I'm going to place her onto the card on the lower left corner. I'm going to add some foam adhesive to the back of my sentiment and place it on the upper right hand corner. I'm going to have it just off of the rainbow panel and onto the gold panel. Now it's time to add some embellishments. I pulled out some gold sequins, and I'm going to adhere them using the Imagine Crafts On Point glue. I'm putting a little drop on this by the sentiment and by the rainbow panel, by the little girl, and off to the side. So altogether we'll have 5 sequins added to our card panel. And use the gold because the sentiment reads, "You are the pot of gold at the end of my rainbow." Looking for the right size and adhering them. So our card is now complete. This was a quick and easy, and you can do this with or without a stencil. Again, let's go over the products we used. The Memento and Tuxedo Black to stamp our image. Versa Fine Clear and Nocturne for our sentiment, for it gives us a nice crisp sentiment. Delicata Gold to create our frame. And Memento Dewdrops in Summer Sky. Angel Pink. Lulu Lavender. And let me move this over so I can fit all of my inks in here so you can get a good view of them. And New Sprout. A VersaColor in Canary. And VersaMagic in Mango. On Point Glue to adhere our embellishments. Tear tape to put our card all together. We use a stencil and some ink applicators. I'll have all these supplies in the description box down below for you, with links for you to find easily. And we have our stamp and sentiment from CC Designs. Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you found some inspiration. Until next time.